knowing the importance of social media and realizing I needed to have that consistency, and also realizing that I really didn't want to get burnt out in doing this, I created what I call the countdown strategy. And it's designed to help busy entrepreneurs and business leaders make a big impact with a clear, structured plan. Want to transform your business into a brand that truly shines? Well, you're in the right place. My name is Summer Vega, and I am thrilled to have you here. With over 25 years of experience from leading communications teams to building my business from scratch, I've seen it all: setbacks, success, and everything in between. And guess what? I'm here to spill the beans on what it truly takes to build and sustain a brilliant brand. So whether you're just starting out or looking to revamp your existing brand, you'll find golden nuggets of wisdom right here. We'll dive deep into strategies, mindset shifts, and nitty-gritty details that make brands extraordinary. Stick around, because Brilliant Brands Academy is where we believe that every entrepreneur has the potential to create something truly exceptional. And together, we'll turn that potential into reality. So hit the subscribe button and let's get started on this exciting journey to brand brilliance. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Brilliant Brands Academy podcast. I'm Summer Vega, and today we are going to explore a new way to simplify content creation that will allow you to build consistency and engagement without the burnout. Let me tell you, I used to post on social media every day, and dare I say, I would say about 2 years ago, the going thing was to post 3 times a day. Well, after doing that for a while, I just got burnt out. And when I really looked at my numbers, I realized that a lot of my clients came from word of mouth. And it also came from interactions one-on-one with individuals. So I began to really put a lot of my marketing and advertising efforts into that area and not as much into social media. But we do know that social media still is very crucial. I do get clients from social media, especially when it comes to launching my coaching and online courses. It has been really great for that. So, knowing the importance of social media and realizing I needed to have that consistency, and also realizing that I really didn't want to get burnt out in doing this, I created what I call the countdown strategy. And it's designed to help busy entrepreneurs and business leaders make a big impact with a clear, structured plan. By doing it this way, I found that social media was no longer one of those really daunting tasks that I had to do. And I was able to really concentrate on the big rocks, as I like to call them, those big, important things in my business. And basically using social media just as an additive. At the end of the day, I think the main thing that we have to think about is the fact that you just have to be consistent. And consistency over the long haul will give you great results. Recent studies show that consistency in content creation can improve engagement by up to 89%. That's a study done by HubSpot in 2023. That is huge. So, hey, no matter what, social media and content creation, it's not going away. It is actually growing. So we have to embrace it. And I'm going to show you an easy way to do that. This strategy helps you build that consistency across platforms without feeling overwhelmed by starting small and counting down to one main piece of content per week. So just like a countdown, we're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. right? So we're starting with 5. You're going to want to post or create and create, post and create, or create and post. That's the order it's supposed to be. Create and post 5 behind the scenes content. So you're going to do this every week. These posts build trust and relatability with your audience. According to a survey by Sprout Social, 86% of consumers say transparency is more important than ever before. Behind the scenes content being a major way brands can achieve that transparency. That's the best way to do it, is to show your work environment behind the scenes. So here are some effective ideas that I'm going to give you. Share a shot of your workspace or your team. You can share information about insights. Show your audience how you prepare for content or meet with clients. Do an unboxing of a new product or how a piece of software works, your dashboard, how that works if you're dealing with service clients. If you're a restaurant, you can give a sneak peek into a recipe on a new item on the menu. You could also show the excitement of your coworkers as they're working behind the scenes. Show your audience how to prepare content or when you meet with clients. This humanizes your brand and provides that transparency that we're looking for. I know whenever I am going out to a client event, or even if I've planned a client event, I am sure to always gather some content in my stories that show behind the scenes. I show personal moments as well, moments that are relatable, whether it's just having a morning cup of coffee, or even if it's just writing in my notepad with a brainstorming session. Just recently, I also shared a post about a win, a celebration of a win, where a client of mine was vetted for a preliminary call for one of the major morning shows, which was a big win for them and for my company as the public relations agency on record. So these are just the behind the scenes things that just show not just the finished product, but all that it takes to work behind the scenes to create the product, create the environment, to create the mode, even to show how human you are and your team is in the day-to-day workspace. So you're going to do that 5 times a week. You can also share a lesson or a key takeaway with your audience, a weekly reflection. I mean, it really doesn't have to be really scripted. It can be just spontaneous. Just be open to the spontaneity. Audiences really appreciate that authenticity over the perfectionism. Use stories, reels, simple posts. There's so many ways that you can do this. Just be authentic. So you're going to do this 5 times a week. The next part of this countdown strategy is engaging with your communities at least 4 times a week. Engaging within relevant groups not only builds brand awareness, but can also increase your brand trust as well. All of this really increases your brand trust. LinkedIn reports that 77% of marketers see community engagement as a key to brand success. Now, here's how to approach community engagement with intention and with consistency. So you can answer questions. Look for questions that align with your expertise and offer genuine advice. A study by Edelman found that brands who respond to community questions build trust with 65% of the consumers that are inside of those communities. You want to also join conversations, comment on relevant discussions, sharing insight that show your expertise, share resources. When appropriate, share helpful content or links, especially if it relates to your week's main topic. Support peers. liking, engaging in their content, sharing their content. Share it with other members so that you can build a rapport. And it also helps expand your network. So, for example, suppose you're focusing on content strategy this week. Find discussions in a relevant Facebook or LinkedIn group and contribute by sharing your experience or tips without hard selling. Don't even sell your company or your organization. Simply give your expertise. Comment with some form of expertise. Okay, so now that we've covered community engagement, let's now talk about number 3. So you're going to do 3 actual social media posts. So remember in the beginning, I said that back in a couple of years ago, they were saying you need to create 3 reels a day. You need to post 3 times a day. And very quickly, many content creators became very burnt out from that. But here we're going to do 3 a week. That's 3 curated postings a week. Whereas in the 5, when we started with 5 behind the scenes, that's more spontaneous. That's not as scripted. But here we're going to do 3 that can be scripted, 3 that are curated strategically. Here's a simple structure for these 3 posts. You can do a teaser post. You kick off the week with a teaser post that hints at your main content. A study from CoSchedule shows that curiosity-driven posts can increase engagement by 90%. So you could do that where you tease the audience into trying to figure out what's coming next in your business. You can do an educational post. Somewhere in the midweek, share a valuable tip and insight. Educational posts are 23% more likely to get shared, according to HubSpot, because people like the information. And educational posts are those things that people are like, oh, I didn't know this. Let me share this to my stories, or let me remix this because this is a great piece of information. And if you've already curated it for them, it's easy for them to just share it. You can do an engagement post at the end of the week. You can create a post designed for interaction, asking questions, run a poll within your post, or invite comments. In fact, I say with all of your postings, these 3 structured posts, you need to request some sort of call to action. If you like this post, share it. Or if this resonates with you, be sure to follow me. Or if you want more information, comment a certain keyword and I will send you more resources to your inbox. That's what these 3 posts are. It kind of takes the pressure off because it's only 3 times a week. This is also where you can have a little bit of fun. So you notice on social media, there are trending sounds or trending audios. Some people use those sounds to show certain words on the screen. Some people use those sounds to actually lip talk or lip sync. Milli Vanilli it. You can really get creative here, especially if your specific brand personality allows for that creativity. But I've also seen where someone's brand is strictly informational. And I've seen where that worked. Like I'll follow someone who gives travel tips, and instead of a lot of B-roll, their entire account for the most part are little snippets of information of those travel tips. So if you are more of a serious brand or a brand that really wants to just give your research, etc., there's actually a place for that because there are accounts that grow with that kind of content. But what I'm saying as a business leader, a busy business leader, take the pressure off and post 3 times a week in this way. I must add, before I move on to the next one, carousels. That's this kind of post as well. Carousels giving information. Carousels, for those who don't know, are those static image postings where you swipe several times, specifically in Instagram. You swipe several times and it's like going from one page to the next page to the next page. Carousels are great with this. If you don't want to do a video every time, alternate it. Do a static image post, do a reel, and then do a carousel. There's your 3 postings right there. And the carousel can be your step-by-step guide to something. It could be tips. It could be quotes that you like. It could be telling a story. It's really up to you. But at the end of the day, I really want to take the pressure off of you the way that I took it off of myself and concentrate on only doing these 3 postings every week. So some tips for success are to stay consistent with the branding and make sure that each post ties into your main content theme, into your business. Encourage responses to foster community and increase reach, and be intentional. Be intentional with these posts so that these posts really do have a purpose, no matter if it's an informative post, an intriguing post, or an engaging post. All right. So next, let's talk about the thing that you will do twice a week. So you're going to send out 2 weekly email campaigns. According to Litmus, email marketing offers an average return of $42 for every dollar spent, making it an incredibly powerful tool for staying top of mind and building relationships. So here's a breakdown of 2 emails in the countdown strategy that you can do. So you're going to start the week introducing something new, whether it be a new podcast, a new blog post, a new article, a new product, an announcement, something going on in your business that is new that you need to announce. Then you're going to follow up midweek with a second email that adds value beyond the first. And this could be a recap, a lesson learned, summary, a case study. It can be a resource that you're giving away for free. According to Campaign Monitor, emails with additional tips and insights have a 22% higher click-through rate. So this lends into the idea that you're not just salesy all the time. Every time you send an email, it is to sell something. It also needs to have value. And we've talked about this plenty of times before. In fact, this is a main part of my business strategy, is adding more value to business leaders' lives than always selling, because adding value allows your potential customers and clients to realize that you care, right? That you're not just about the bottom line, that you're not just about selling them a product, that they're not just a number, but that you really do care about solving their problems. You really do care about providing a solution. And as a business person, you have to be willing to give away some sense of value. But I will say this, you give this value of what you have. So some people may think, well, if I give it all away, then they're not going to buy it. Yes, they will. They're buying the how. So you're giving away the what, your lists, your tips. That's the what. But you, the business owner, are the how. You are the solution. Okay, so that's what they're buying. So while you're giving away these tips, the next step for them is to realize, oh my goodness, I need someone to help me with this. I need someone to solve this problem. So that's when they'll want to hire you, avail of your services, because ultimately you have the solution, you have the strategy, you have the product, you have the restaurant, the whatever it is that you're selling. You have that bottom line thing that is fulfilling their need. All right. So some tips of success are to create compelling subject lines. In fact, if you want to get some help with creating subject lines, there are websites that will provide subject lines for you. One is melmeteor.com. Another one is Dough.com. And another one is Encharge, ENCHARGE.io. If you go to those websites, you just it's using artificial intelligence, AI, to help you create compelling subject lines. Another tip is, as corny as it may sound, but I've even tested it myself, but I learned that using emojis in the headline actually have greater open rates than not using emojis. And I tested it with a couple of email campaigns that I sent out. I use a specific email marketing tool that allows me to do split testing. That's where you send out the same email with one small difference, and you see how the audience reacts to that small difference. So for instance, I sent out the same email and the only small difference was the subject line. One subject line had emojis and the other one did not. Well, the one that had the emoji in it got opened way more than the other one that did not. So I tested that out for myself. As corny as it may sound, for some reason, audiences will open up email marketing campaigns that have the emoji included in it. Another tip for success is to keep it concise but valuable. So that speaks to that value piece that I spoke about earlier. But keep it concise as well, so that when they open up the email, it's not like they see a whole lot of text that they have to read. I think that if you're concise, then it intrigues them more to dig deep into what it is that you are saying. Another thing that I like to do is, for instance, if I'm sending out some information about a new blog that I have on my website, I will send in the email the first two paragraphs of that blog, and then I'll have a link that says read more. So what that does is it makes the email concise, but it also adds traffic to my website as well, because the learn more obviously is to that full blog posting on my actual website. The other thing is to focus on building a consistent relationship with your subscribers. Don't just send out emails for the sake of just sending them out. Really do create your content in this piece where it's intentional, where you keep your audience in mind. So for example, if you're focusing on building your brand story this week, the first email could introduce the importance of brand storytelling, while the second email could dive deeper with an example or tips for crafting a compelling narrative. And now our final step in the countdown strategy and the foundation of it all is creating one anchor piece of content each week. Studies from Winzhou show that 80% of people want to see more video content from brands, making this a highly effective way to connect with your audience. Your anchor content could be a podcast episode. It could be a live video, so going live on social media, or it could be a webinar that you are planning to do on Zoom that also can be broadcast live as well. something that allows you to explore a topic in depth. This weekly content serves as the core of your strategy, creating a central theme that you can repurpose across all of your channels. To be successful in this, you'll want to really choose a topic that aligns with your audience's interests and with their needs. HubSpot reports that high-value, relevant content increases audience retention by 23%. You'll want to also keep a structured outline to stay organized and deliver actionable takeaways. And then always end with a call to action that directs listeners to explore your other content or your products or your services. So for example, imagine you're a financial advisor. You could create a weekly podcast on financial planning tips. That episode becomes the foundation of the week's social media posts, emails, and community engagement. This is where that anchor post can be repurposed. So you are actually creating other parts of this countdown strategy with this one anchor content idea. Now, I'm going to throw out one thing that's not a part of the countdown, but it's one thing that you can do every single month, and that is create a blog post. So the blog post is a valuable piece of content that explores a topic in depth that you house on your website. This blog post can utilize search engine optimization and keywords that will be picked up on search engines. So who is looking for these specific keywords for your niche on search engines? Your audience is. So if you have an audience of individuals, staying with the same example of the financial advisor, if you have an audience that needs to know, how do I effectively create a sustainable budget? They're going to Google it or they're going to search it. And if you have a blog post on that topic and you are utilizing search engine optimization and the keywords in that blog post, then your blog will come up as a resource for that individual. So that's where your content is attracting the very audience that you are looking for. You could take it one step further and then create a pin, if you will, for Pinterest. And that pin can lead to your blog posts. So Pinterest is not a social media platform. It is also a search engine. So your target audience would be there looking for specific content that you have. So you follow your blog post up with a pin to add to a Pinterest account. All right, so that's just one extra tip outside of the countdown strategy. It's just one other thing that you can do, but it's just once a month. That's once a month. All right, back to the countdown strategy. Let's summarize and talk about how you can get started. So to recap, the 5 behind the scenes posts, we've got 4 community engagements, 3 social media posts, 2 email marketing campaigns, and 1 anchor content piece every single week. This strategy creates a complete content cycle that keeps your audience engaged and your brand top of mind without overwhelming you. And remember, a recent study from Content Marketing Institute shows that businesses with a clear content strategy, they actually see 60% increase in engagement and in leads. I challenge you to try this countdown strategy this week. So you're going to start though with your anchor content and use the countdown structure to guide your supporting pieces. I'd love to hear how it works for you. So please share your experience with me on social media at Pocket PR, or you can send me a message on my contact page on the website, pocketpr.net. Thank you for tuning in to Brilliant Brands Academy podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, please subscribe, rate, and share it with others who might benefit. Remember, building a brilliant brand is about consistency and value. Till next time, stay brilliant.